Yes, hello. Kind of discouraged lately. I just was researching some different groups, Illuminati, Freemasons, all this different stuff, and I'm looking at it and looking at all the different religions too. I've studied a lot of these different religions over the years. The backbones of these things, the weirdest thing is that each group of people that gets together, in the context of coming into a better place, if you look at the overall picture, it's about escaping from or making better the human condition. Generally speaking, when groups of people get together, it's about helping each other to get to a better place, spiritually, mentally, physically, whatever. It's about stepping up and out of these things in our lives that cause us to just either destroy or attack each other or our environment or whatever. There's just so many things, but the baseline, I'm noticing the baseline is, basic concept is this, it's like this idea of trying to be better people or stepping up and being more like godly or better people or better sound mind and sound spirit, and the reality of this whole thing, it sort of boils down to something Jesus said about children, You must become like a little child. That's an enigmatic statement because there's a lot of people that interpret that in different ways, and to me, it's just this simple, okay? If you love to the best of your abilities, if every day you get up and you try to love yourself, the world around you, people around you, you can't get any closer to God. If you get up with the attitude that you're going to go out into the world and serve people, not be served, not look for your own way, not look out for your own interests, but if you get up every day with the attitude, I'm going to go out and do the best I can to serve other people and to love people, I'm going to tell you right now, you will not get any closer to God's heart than that. You can obey all the rules and laws and regulations and moral values you want. You can try to set up standards by which people can frickin' grow and build into and think that this is going to change your mind and change the group of people that you're in. But the most effective way to reach God's heart is through your love. Through loving other people around you. It's simple. And that's something a child can do. It's something a little child can grasp. You teach your child to love. And your child will learn to love. There's a proverb that says, train a child in the way he should go when he's young, and then when he is older, he will not depart from it. If you train your child up in a true sacrificing, self-effacing love for other people and the world around him, he's not going to depart from that when he gets older. If he knows how to love, he's got it in the bag. This is, love covers over a multitude of sins is another one, It's the glory of God to cover over a sin. It's the glory of kings to search a matter out. Where do you want to be? Do you want to sit on a throne and search for problems, solve problems, figure things out, bring things to justice? Or do you want to sit with the true king and just love? Whose son are you? What are you choosing to do? Israel, way back when, asked for a king. What were they asking for? They wanted to be like all the other lands around them. They had God leading them. And then they said, we want a king because then we can be like all the other people around us. That we're asking for a king. So let's go back to the proverb. Love covers over a multitude of sins. Here it is. So how do we do it? What is the sin? Again, I go back into the sin, the aberration of anything that the flesh was created for. Anything that's a deviancy from what you were created. For instance, smoking is a sin. What? Yeah, it's an aberration of the flesh. Your lungs weren't meant to frickin' inhale smoke. They weren't meant for that. That would be a sin against your body. That would be a sin against your body. it's that simple. You know, that this is a very simple understanding. So anything, and then on top of it, let's say that you're subjecting your children to the cigarette smoke by smoking in the house all the time, and you have young children in the house, then you're subjecting them to that cigarette smoke. So now you're sinning against your children. Okay, I'm using this cigarette smoke because it's a very easy thing to see. But like, look at everything that we do in life and what does it entail? Is it something that we're doing that is conflicting with either our flesh, our mind, our spirit, somebody else's flesh, somebody else's mind, somebody else's spirit? How do we break free of all this? Again, go back to that proverb. Love. Love those people. Love yourself. You will find in that love all the moral value you want. You know, all these codes that we have to follow, the moral value, the moral laws, we could set all these things up and expect each other to follow these things. And when we fail, we can go and put these people in jail, and we could do this, and we can make them go sit in the corner. And okay, for failing what? The rules we've set up to make ourselves better. If you're really in the spirit of love, all of these values, all these morals, all these rules are automatic. They're automatic. If you're in love, what person, if you fall in love with somebody, are you going to go out and hurt that person or take advantage of them? Come on. Everybody out there must know what it felt like to fall in love for the first time. You would give up your entire freaking life. You'd cut off limbs if you had to be with this person. Now that's the kind of love right there you should carry out to the whole world. You say, well, that's too much. No, it's not. What did Jesus offer us? Think about it. That's the real deal right there. And that's a very simple thing. It has nothing to do with your organizations, your religions, you know, all this stuff that I've been researching. It's ridiculous. You know, the secret rules of conduct and all these different things, and they think by their blind obedience to these different kinds of things that they have this kind of godliness about them. And they're really so far away from God, it's not even funny. Because God is the encompassment of God's love is what makes God holy. Because love cannot come down to the level that you have to be on to take advantage or do anything of evil to anyone else. There's no need to have rules when you're in that spirit of love. How do you know the devil's children? Because they're trying to live up to rules. How do you know God's children? Because they love. It's simple. It's very simple. Love covers over a multitude of sin. Does that mean that sin goes away? No, it means that people that live in love know how to forgive each other. They know how to let things go. They don't take people to court. They don't take people and beat them down. They don't put people in jail. They learn how to draw these people into that same spirit that they reside in. And they learn to teach them to love as they love. It's so simple. Again, go back to the little children. A little child can understand it. Where are you sitting? Where is anyone sitting? If you're looking at my video right now, you're looking for all the faults and who are you to this and who are you to that and blah, 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 blah. Who are you to speak on spirit and blah, 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 blah. What are you sitting with? You're not in love. If you were in love with me, you'd be like, oh, wow. You know, I hit a common tone. Yes, I agree. I understand. Why? Because you hear that spirit. Why would God speak in any other language than love? You think he's really sitting up there with a giant hammer ready to dash people to pieces? Mm-mm. You know why? Because he sees every time you make some stupid judgment, and every time you go out there and you go out after somebody, every time you try to live up to some rule, he sees your house getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and he knows as soon as some calamity comes or as soon as you fall down, you're going to smash into a million pieces. He doesn't have to smash you. You're smashed because you're in a weak house. The storms come, and wham, the house falls to the ground. Why? You're not founded in anything that's real. The only reality in the judgments that we make, when we point to our fingers, the only reality in the sins that we commit, is because that's where we choose to be. We can always just turn around and love. It is simple. I'm not saying it's an easy road. Love isn't an easy road. But it's a very simple concept, and you don't have to follow all these rules and regulations. Live in love, and you will understand God's heart, and you will know how to follow him.